Lines and angles. Introduction of basic geometry. Introduction. Points, line and segment. Properties of congruent segments. Ray, plane. Basic geometrical postulates. Some basic definitions. Lines and angles. As we have learnt in our initial classes, we know very well that a point is nothing but a mark of pencil tip which may or may not be visible by normal view. We assign point by capital alphabets. A line is a continuous straight chain of points which has no beginning and no end. A line segment is a part of line which has one beginning point and one end point. It has definite length. Congruent segments. Two line segments of same length are called congruent segments. Symbolically, two congruent segments write as segment AB congruent to segment CD. Congruent segments have some properties. Reflexivity. Every segment is congruent to itself. Symmetry. If first segment is congruent to a second, then the second segment is congruent to the first two. Transitivity. If first segment is congruent to a second and second segment is congruent to a third, then the first segment is congruent to the third segment. Midpoint of a segment. A point M is said to be the midpoint of segment AB. If M lie between points A and B and segment AM congruent to segment BM. Ray. These are points A and B. Let a line draw from point A to B and extend beyond B. We get a point P on a line such that B will be between A and B. The set consisting of points A and B, the points between points A and B, and all the points P on the line AB is called the ray AB. Ray AB and BA are two different rays. If points A, B, C are any three points on line such that A, B, C, then the ray BA and ray BC are called opposite rays. B is called the origin of ray BA and ray BC. The union of ray BA and ray BC is a line AC. Plane. A tabletop, a paper sheet, a surface of a smooth wall. These are the examples of plane. It is a set of points and can extend indefinitely on all the sides. A plane is denoted by using the names of three non-collinear points on it like plane XYZ. We can denote plane by single capital alphabets like plane X. Let us learn some other basic geometrical postulates. 1. Infinite number of lines can be drawn through a given point. 2. Two distinct points determine one and only one line. If two distinct lines intersect each other, then they intersect in one and only one point. 4. One and only one plane is determined by three non-collinear points. 5. When two planes intersect each other, their intersection is one and only one line. 6. A line and a point outside it determine one and only one plane. Same way, two distinct intersecting lines determine one and only one plane. 7. When a line does not lie in a plane but intersects the plane, then their intersection is one and only one point. We have some definitions to learn. Concurrent lines. You have seen that these all lines pass through one point O. Such lines are called concurrent lines. If three or more lines pass through one point, then the lines are called concurrent lines. Collinear points. These are some points on a plane. What happened? The line 1 passed through points P, R and T. If a straight line passing through 3 or more distinct points, the points are called collinear points. Point P, Q, R and S are called non-collinear points because no line can pass through all these 4 points. Coplanar points and coplanar lines. These are 5 points lie in the same plane. These points are called coplanar points. If 4 or more points lie in the same plane, then these points are called coplanar points. Same way, if 2 or more lines lie in the same plane, then they are called coplanar lines. Dear students, we have studied number line, right? We know that every real number or number line represented uniquely by a point. The number with which the point is associated is called the coordinate of a point. The coordinate of point Q is -2. The coordinate of point D is 4 and the coordinate of point C is 3. Let us define the distance between 2 points on a number line in terms of their coordinates. If x and y are the coordinates of point P and Q, now distance between points P and Q symbolically represented as D into bracket PQ. And when we can determine the distance between points P and Q by subtracting the smaller number from greater number. If x is greater than y, the distance between points P and Q will be x minus y. And if x is lesser than y, the distance between points P and Q will be y minus x. The distance is always non-negative real number. P, Q and R are 3 points on number line. If the sum of distance between points P and Q and distance between points Q and R is equal to distance between points P and R, we see that the point Q is between point P and R and it is symbolically write as. Summary. In this subtopic we have learned basics of geometry, properties of congruent segments, basic geometrical postulates, some basic definitions like congruent lines, collinear points, coplanar points. So that is all about introduction of basic geometry. We will see types of angles in our next topic. Maths is fun, so keep learning.